Welcome everybody to
Yay!
the Sneakers and High Heel podcast with Daniela Hurtado and Tania de la Oliva. I'm so excited.
Oh, me too. Oh my God. But I'm also nervous.
I'm also nervous. And yeah, this is our first episode. So
Yes.
we're going to make mistakes. Please bear with us. But we promise it's going to be fun and
Yes.
easy to listen.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Tania, let's talk about ourselves a little bit. You want to tell us and tell our audience who are you and how did you end up in Denver?
Yeah. Well, I'm just a girl, Russian, Moscovian.
Yeah.
I met my husband back in 2018 in Moscow for Soccer World Cup, and that's how I ended up in Denver.
Wow.
My husband is American Peruvian. Most of his life he did live here in United States,
Right.
in Colorado. So when we met, honestly, I think we fell in love like right away.
Love at first sight.
Yes, and it was weird because on our first night in a bar, we were talking about how many kids we're going to have in the future.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
we'd know each other for 1 hour and we already discussed our 5 kids, which now already down to 2 is enough.
Makes sense.
Yes. But for me, to be honest with you, moving from Russia, which I really love,
You're very Russian.
Yes. Moving to United States was difficult. Moving to Colorado was difficult because I am from a big city, like major city of the world. Everybody knows what's Moscow, and it's a lot of fun. It's big nightlife.
A lot of
and
things to do, I
yes,
assume. Yeah.
a lot. Like I'm always telling my husband Jimmy that in Moscow you get out of the house, you can go somewhere. There is somewhere to go to have fun. Here, okay, it depends on the time, on where are you, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
for me, adjust was really hard. But now, having 2 boys, I'm realizing that raising a family, and that's what actually Jimmy kept telling me, that raising a family in
Yeah.
Colorado is the best. And it is true. I like this calm style of life now. I like the fact that I get out of my house, I sit in a car, and I drive without traffic anywhere I need.
Right.
Traffic here is like 10, 15 minutes. Traffic in Moscow, no exaggerating, is 4 hours. So,
Wow.
yes.
Oh, wow. So that's why you don't really drive.
Exactly.
You got to take the public
Yes.
transportation. And I see that. But I see that also you being young in Moscow, I think that's a good life to have.
Yes.
But do you think about yourself, how your life will be raising your kids there?
Well, there is some stuff that I like in Moscow about raising kids because there is a lot of things to do with them, like different shows almost every day that you can pick. Here, yeah, you need to plan in advance. You're like, okay, I saw that show in 2 months. I'm going to go there with my kids.
Okay.
But other than that, I really like being here.
Being
The
here.
only my concern always is guns.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
yeah. It's
that's
a
the only
subject
thing.
that nobody like.
Yeah,
Some people
and I
have their
would-
own opinions.
Exactly.
And you respect whoever's
Yeah.
opinions, but I understand your point, because it can be a little scary when you have kids.
Yes.
Of course. And then, so what do you do, Tania? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Well, I am in real estate. I'm realtor for
Okay.
a little less than 3 years now.
Okay.
I'm also doing fix and flips.
Nice.
I've been doing it with my husband, and now I finally got my own project,
Awesome. Woman
which I'm
business.
super excited and extremely nervous because you put so much at risk.
Yeah.
You never know how it's
But
going to
if you
end up.
risk, if you don't
Yes.
risk, how do you know you're gonna gain
Exactly.
something? So I think real estate business is a lot about like
Yes.
taking risk and then taking that leap of faith.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, you've been a realtor for 3 years, and then do you like it? How do you feel?
Okay, I love the job itself of being a realtor. The second when I have a client and up to the very end of the process. But for me, I am struggling with selling myself.
Yeah.
Like-
the prospecting part
Yes.
of being a realtor.
Like going around and telling, like everybody's telling, right? The biggest advice for realtors, you step in a room, you say, I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
But for me, that's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. You don't want to feel like, oh, you're pushy
Yes.
or you are like on.
Exactly.
I don't like being like that either, but I understand that. And then, how do you see yourself like in the real estate business in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think I'm gonna be really successful.
Yeah.
Like I really think so because I love it. I'm passionate about it, and now I'm getting more and more comfortable with the idea that I have to sell my brand, like myself as a brand. And so I do think that I'm going to be really successful.
Yeah, and I think this business and this job is a lot about having that experience, and then you're growing. Like it's a constantly growth, and then the more experience you have, the better you get at things, and the faster you can succeed. So I do see yourself succeeding a lot. I think you're a badass. So I was going to ask you before this question, but tell me about your kids. Like you have kids.
Yes.
Yep.
I have two boys. Novak, he's 2 years and 9 months, and Tiago, he's 8 months old. He's going through a growth spur right now.
I think they go through growth spurs all the time. Yeah. It's like your kids are always teething. Yeah. Your kids are like, what's going on with your kids? They're teething. They're teething all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I love them to death, but it's also really hard sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
But they are with me in real estate 100% all the time.
So how do you deal? How do you deal with being a business owner, a mom right now? You take care of both of them 24/7 together with your husband, right?
Yes.
So how do you handle it? How do you manage things?
Okay, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if I'm handling it. I don't know if I'm managing it right.
But you're doing your best.
Yes.
Yep.
I am trying to do my best. Like I said, my kids are with me all the time. Like I go to meet clients, at least one of them is with me.
Wow.
Recently, I was showing houses to my client, and both of them were with me. Mm-hmm. So it's like in one hand I have a car seat, and the other hand I'm holding the Novak's hand, and we're just going together. And
wow,
like
that's brave.
In these last 3 years, Novak was probably on 20 closings with me.
Wow.
And Tiago, he was just born. He already had 3 closings that he attended with me. Yeah. So they are, from the very young age, they are involved in everything with real estate. And Novak loves it. Like he goes in the house and he starts showing it.
He was born in it.
Yes.
You know, like it's not that he has another option.
Exactly.
And then do you want to tell the story that when you were going to take the test, what happened then?
So I had my test scheduled for real estate licensing, and it was Friday, 10 in the morning, the test. And all Friday night, I'm feeling really like pain.
Because you were
pregnant. Yes.
Okay.
And I was 39 weeks. And I was thinking, no, I'm not giving birth. I have a licensing exam in the morning. Yeah, I gave birth.
Yeah, you were upset because you wanted to take your test.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I called, because you pay, right, for the licensing exam, and to reschedule, you have to give them advance notice.
Right.
So I called them to say, hey, I really couldn't give you advance notice. And they telling me, send us a proof. I was like, how? Do you want a picture? But yes, so he was born on a day when I was supposed to take a licensing exam.
So it's just kind of like meant to be. And then real estate kind of like becomes part of your life 24/7 too.
Yes.
It's usually, you have calls at all times of the day. You have to, answer emails at all times of the day. So they're just part of it all. So yeah. And then is there something that you think you could do to help you get better at, in the business, as a mom, or in life? Things that you think that could be helpful for you or that you need to get better?
Yeah. Well, first of all, helpful thing would be help.
Of course.
Which, thanks to you, I'm getting. Like, you kept pushing me for a year to get an au pair. Yeah. And yes, in the end of this month, I am getting an au pair.
I'm excited.
Me too. Yeah. And I really think that she's amazing. Like, I love her already, and I didn't even
wait until she gets here.
Yes. Keep my hopes.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. And then the kids are going to love her. So help with the kids.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I do need to become more consistent. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not that, I'm going to start this thing from Monday or from new months. No, consistency should be every day. It's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it have to be there.
Right.
Because, for example, I try to do social media, like all these little videos. And I record a few, and then I post. And then all this time when I'm posting it, I don't record new ones. and then there is a month of silence
Yeah.
where there is no consistency. And of course, like I gain followers, it goes up, 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 and then I stop and then start going slowly down. And it takes me again a
No, I
huge
understand that.
amount of effort to get
Yeah.
that back.
So maybe getting help with outsourcing videos
That's also
and
good.
that kind of
Yes.
stuff, that would be a good idea, because we only have two hands, you know, and then there's only so much that we can do. And especially if we're running a house,
Yes.
we have a family, kids that, you know, they need our attention, and a business that needs our attention too.
And that's the other
so,
thing that I need to learn to delegate.
Yeah.
And I actually did a coaching where she, for 4 hours, was telling me, like, you need to learn to delegate. You cannot take everything on you.
Yeah. And I see you doing
Yeah.
that. Like you like doing everything, but yeah, you cannot do it all.
That's
Yeah.
something that, I'm starting to understand that
Yeah.
slowly,
So,
but yeah.
But it's good. Like,
Yes.
You're acknowledging.
Let's stop talking about me.
We
I
could
feel
spend
like
here
I did too
hours
much.
talking
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I know about you,
Yep.
but I want people to know you.
Okay. What do you want me
I want to know
what do you
where
want them
you're
to know?
from. How did you end up here in
Okay.
Colorado?
Yep.
And I want to know about your family.
Yeah. So I'm from Venezuela. I've been in Denver for almost 12, 13 years. I ended up here because I came as an au pair. So an au pair is, just to clarify, an au pair is somebody that comes for like an inter-exchange program to come and live with this American family. That au pair is going to take care of the kids. So pretty much has a babysitter, but the au pair also has the opportunity to take some credits and to, you know, do some studies.
Yeah.
And in my case, I did English. And I work with this family here in Denver, so I've been here since. And then, my family, I met my husband Renzo when I was an au pair. He's also Peruvian. He's friends with your husband.
Yes.
And then we've been together for the past 12 years. We have two boys, boy moms.
Yay!
Right? Yeah. Oh, my God, it's hard. Two boys, Luca, 10, and then Paolo, 3. So I love them. They make me crazy. They make me crazy, but I love them so much. So it's fun. It's fun being a mom, and I love
Well,
it.
you're also in real estate.
Yes, I'm in real estate too. I've been.
And you have 2 other businesses also in real estate.
Yes. So me and my husband Renzo, we're very involved, just like you and your husband, in real estate. We are realtor, we're lender, and we have a staging company, and we are investors. So we do just a little bit of everything. And I've been a realtor for the past almost 6 years. Wow, I can't believe it's been that long. And it's been good. I mean, it has the ups and downs. You know, I had a kid in between, you know, these 6 years. So I had my not so good years, but I was with my baby at home. Then I had an au pair that will help me. She helped me for last year, and that was a really good year for me. And now I'm back alone again, but my little one is going to school part-time, so that also helps. But being a mom, entrepreneur, it's not an easy thing. And I think that's one of the things that we kind of want to talk in this podcast, right?
Exactly.
Like, we want to show how, like, we do it, but sometimes we're like, how did we do this? Like, how did we accomplish so much? And then, you know, we put a lot of effort and we take a lot of praise into our businesses and into our families too.
Yeah.
So we kind of like want to be here, like, talking about how we struggle or how things that we do to succeed that maybe are going to be helpful for other people are listening, and other moms, and even some dads, because like things are changing. Now there's a lot of stay-at-home dads and dads that stay with their kids.
Yeah.
So we kind of want to focus our information and our message to the people that are, you know, in business, entrepreneurs, business owners, but they have kids at the same time.
And don't show like this pretty Instagram picture of, I woke up 6 a.m. I made homemade breakfast for my kids. I just made milk the cow, and now, you know.
But you know,
but show reality.
Yeah, show the reality, talk about the stuff that are not so great, but like also talk about the happy times too.
Yes. No, because there is a lot of happy times.
Like ways that we maybe use to find that balance, which sometimes I'm unbalanced. A lot of times actually. But like, yeah, I mean, we're friends and we decided to do this just to sit down and talk and then have people like hopefully
invite some
have
guests
some
and-
guests, have some successful women or that are not just realtors, that are also in other kinds of businesses that we can also support.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. You jumped on this one, but I did want to ask you.
Yeah.
Because last year you were the best agent in our team,
Yay.
which
Yeah.
made me so happy. I remember when Caesar, our boss, was announcing it, I was crying there.
Yeah, and that was very exciting, and it's still today. I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I did that.
You
Like,
did.
and it's kind of hard because now I feel like, how am I gonna
There's a lot
get
of
better
pressure.
than that? Like I have to work my ass off,
Yeah.
to be better because I don't want to be the same or less. I want to be better.
Exactly.
And it's hard, but I'm gonna try my best, but at the same time I want to try my best to be a good mom, a good stager, a good investor. So I keep telling myself I cannot beat myself up if this year I didn't do the same, because I'm also doing good at some other things.
Yes.
And I think, yesterday was a great year for me, but I can tell that I kind of put my family a little bit on the side because of that. And now that I'm back at the 24/7 mom, I can see that, and I can see that my relationship with my kids have improved a lot more. So I think,
There is
there's a balance,
Yes.
and then if finding that balance is hard, but I think I like that I'm happy at every stage of the life where I be. Like I was very successful. I still am, but I'm also very successful in my family
Yes.
too. You know what I'm saying?
Because
So-
also you have this staging business, which I love. Like
It is really fun. I think that's one of my most fun jobs. Like we really like doing it. And well, Renzo does all the hard work. I just go and show up and put things here and there, and I, make it look pretty and put that feminine touch, because Renzo is really good. I mean, he has a good vision of things. But I like in the kitchen, in the bed, like all this
Yes.
cute little stuff. I do that, and then we complement each other as a team. 100%, and we also have Kevin and Brian as part of our team too, and they've been helping us so much. So we're all growing together, and but it's hard.
it is
It's
hard. Oh my
it
god.
is time consuming, and
Yes.
then sometimes I feel like I'm not. I mean, I'm not into everything like you were mentioning before. 100% into everything,
Yes.
But then sometimes I feel like that's the best I can do, and I'm doing the best that I can. I mean, I cannot just punish myself for I'm not 100% at everything. It's too hard.
I think it's this new mentality that somebody keeps putting in our heads that I have to be the best at everything. Oh my god.
Well,
I
I
to
think
be
it is
like-
what what it is. I think
Yes.
it is social media.
Yes.
I think that's what it is, because you see everybody being great at everything, and you feel like you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah.
You want to catch up, and catching up, it's not easy for a mom.
And
You know,
honestly,
like-
sometimes you realize that hey, they actually don't do that great as they're showing. Like there's a lot of people who are just showing something on
Yeah.
Instagram, like, oh my god, I'm so successful, I'm a great parent, like I don't know, I have a great household, everything is clean at my home.
Yeah.
That's
But
almost
it's not
impossible.
really it's not really the reality. So I feel like it's hard not to do it, but like don't compare yourself. I think that's one of the things that I always tell myself. I'm not the same. My situation is different. Like, and I'm a different person.
And you've been telling me that for 3 years.
Yeah, I've been telling you that because I was in your shoes once, where I felt like that pressure of
Yeah.
being like, like this person is doing better or this other person is doing better. Like I had to be better. No, I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm doing the best I can, and just don't compare yourself, because
That's
you're
my
unique.
problem. That's my very big problem, because I am very competitive to the point where it's ridiculous to be competitive. Like, oh my God, their house is cleaner than mine. I have to go on top of it and make my house clean
Yeah.
now. But how stupid is that? Just relax, right?
Yeah.
But in this job, I was struggling, and not because So, because I know a lot of people think that, oh, because you want to compete, you want others to do worse. No, not in my case. I want people to do amazing, but because I have this mentality of competition, I want to do even better.
Well, real estate is really, it's really hard. There's
Yes.
so much competition out
Yes.
there, like not just in our company. All of these agents out there that and everybody's just hungry. Everybody wants to go
Yes.
get it. So it's hard. Like I mean,
It is
sorry,
really,
but I'm
really.
not. I don't want to disappoint you, but yeah,
No,
like,
it is.
I mean, you could do it, but it's not gonna be easy.
No, it's not. It's not an easy job for sure.
Yeah.
Because right now, a lot of people talking about, oh, being realtor is so nice. You're making so much money and you don't do anything.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God. Sometimes I want to record my day, a full day, and just show those people how my day looks.
Yeah, I think people don't really appreciate that
Yes.
much the work of a realtor. I mean, we do a lot. And
Yes.
we do a lot, and then sometimes it can be easier than other times. I'm not gonna say
For
no,
sure.
but I think that compensates. Like the easy ones
Yeah.
compensate for those really hard transactions that you've had. So-
Exactly. And we take a lot of responsibilities, legal responsibilities as well, because if we make a big mistake in a deal,
true.
we can get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and it's pretty much the biggest investment of your life.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a lot of
There is a
that's on
big
stake.
pressure.
It's a lot of
Yes.
it's a lot that's on at stake.
Yeah. Well, I still love that job, but yes, I
Yeah.
just want to
Yeah.
be super clear
But
that
it's good that now you're being an
Yes.
investor, so you can kind of do the realtor, but then also see how
Yeah.
the investing and then fix and flip it
Exactly.
side goes, and maybe you're gonna like that better, and maybe you're gonna say I want to focus most of my energy in this, but I'm still gonna be doing real
Yeah.
estate. That's the thing that about real estate that I really like is that there are so many things that you could do, and then sometimes you can just find what you
Yeah.
really like doing, and I feel like in life, if you want to have a happy life, successful life, you got to do what you love to do.
Yes.
If you're doing something that you don't enjoy, if that doesn't make you happy, I feel like you're gonna have a shitty life, and
I
that's really
honestly-
hard.
I do enjoy helping people in real
Yeah.
estate because
Yeah.
so far, 90% of my clients being something that they came back to me and say, hey, nobody else could do that for us. Like, how did you do that? You did so great. And
Yeah.
I celebrate those wins. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I won, I don't know, inspection for my clients or better price or
Yeah.
some absolutely impossible situation that I had last year that there was no way those people could buy a house and they did.
Yeah.
And it's such a great rewarding
Yeah.
feeling that I love it. I don't think I want to change that, but I do want to add more business like fix and flips or
Yeah.
something else. We will see. I mean, there is a lot of
Yeah, you
possibilities.
never know. There's
Yes.
rental properties, investment, and wholesaling. That we want to get into that.
We do.
Maybe we're gonna be talking about that in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a good share of things that we
Yes.
could do. That we need to tap in.
I want to ask you this question because, okay, everybody in the world have bad days, right? But I do feel like bad days when you know that you go to work at 9, you spend there until 5, and you will get your check. They are a little bit easier, a little bit. Please don't think people that I disrespect that. It is just, I feel it is a little easier because there is less pressure. You will still receive your check.
Yeah, you have an expectation.
Yes.
You have expectations.
But
yeah.
for entrepreneurs, sometimes you have bad days and heck, how are you getting up from the bed? Like, how are you making yourself to get up and do something?
So I think I used to be in your shoes, and I think the more experience and the more time that you spend being a realtor, the more you're gonna learn that bad days are gonna come, and then fuck, I had a bad day, and then tomorrow's gonna be better. I kind of you get used to having bad days. Like you get used to having those hiccups in the transactions, or oh, we didn't make it to closing this time, or things like that can happen, and not just to you, can happen to everybody. So I just feel like just knowing that it's gonna be okay. This thing happened, and then just go to the next. Don't get stuck in the problem. What do I do? Just keep going and try to stay busy. And maybe sometimes it helps talking to somebody that makes me feel good. Like,
Okay.
hey, you're doing good. Like, I understand how you feel, but like things are gonna get better. And then sometimes that talk helps me realize that, like, okay, like this is gonna pass and it's gonna be fine.
But what
So,
motivates you to keep going?
well, my kids. I would say my kids, my family, just being good at what I do. I like being good at what I do, and I just feel like I don't want to be defeated. And then yes, I do have bad days or bad weeks. Sometimes there's more than a day, and that's okay. That's okay, and that's something that I keep telling myself. That's okay. That's okay. Or sometimes I just feel down, not because a transaction failed,
exactly,
just because I just don't feel motivated to like doing something. But it's like, well, if I don't do something right now, then nothing's gonna happen in a month. So my actions today are what are going to
Put your foot on the
put my
table.
future in my future. Exactly. So that's kind of like the mentality that I've learned because I didn't start this way. I started like every little single thing will make me cry. I will cry for every issue that I had. I will call Cesar all the time, like, this is happening, what do I do? And then I really like that Cesar, who is our managing broker in Megastar Realty, he's very calm. He's very calm, and he always looks the bright side of things. So I'm I don't know if I'm dramatic, but I take things too I don't know, personal, or I get really stressed out and I get anxious very easily. And I feel like he will always like calm me down. Like, for example, last week I was having an issue with a transaction with a fix and flip that we had. And I told him, like, I want to do this. Like, I'm so mad. Like, I just want to break things. And he was like, look, I know you're upset. You need to calm down, get this to the closing table. And I was like, okay. Okay, like I was up here and then he put me down and I was like, yeah. But because he's experienced and he's been in these shoes for a very long time. So I think having talks with people that have more experience or that have been in your shoes definitely help you motivate yourself or, get your shit together and keep going. Yeah.
There is actually one subject that I want to raise is about Megastar.
Yeah.
Because, okay, that's a small company, right? And we know that a lot of buyers, sellers, they're like, oh, no, but you are not with Remax. You are not with Keller Williams.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about why it's so great to be at this small company, which is already not small. We're like at 50 agents, right?
When I started, we were 5.
Yeah.
Like back in 2018, and now we're almost 50, which is like 10 times more. So it's kind of crazy.
Even when I started, it was like, 15 people?
Yeah.
And then in the last 3 years,
no, and I think the last 2 years, it's been like 30 people joined.
Exactly. But that's the point why people are joining, because there is so many great things about this company. Like, we get a lot of support from Cesar, a lot. We get a lot of studying that he just gives us training.
But then the kind of training that you learn something.
Exactly.
It's not the kind of training that you can find on YouTube, and that's very nice. And I think that's the reason why people come here, because they feel like they're learning something new. Because in this business, you're, how to be a listing agent, how to be a buyer. So, like the same things that everybody can tell you. But I think that here it's a little bit different, and it has definitely helped the company grow.
But you chose Megastar because...
I chose Megastar because Cesar is friends with Renzo.
The same.
And then I just wanted to be with someone that I was familiar with, that I was like, okay, if I make a mistake, like, please, like, don't be mean at me, because I used to be very sensitive. So and he will take his time, and he will have his wife and his full-time job. Well, not a full-time job. He was a full-time realtor, full-time in real estate, and he was also in the marijuana business.
Yes.
So he was like extremely busy. But then he would still take the time to train me, and like after nights, like from 6 to 10 or from 6 to 9, like 1 or 2 nights a week, and I appreciate that, and that shows that that you have somebody that cares for you, which I don't know. I haven't been in other brokerage, but I don't know how will that be. Just thinking about it makes me like scared. Like, but at this point, I'm like, well, I have more experience.
Yes.
Like if I do it, I think I will be okay. But still, it's not something that I really want to do.
No, because I also came to Megastar because of my husband.
Yeah.
And I remember he called Caesar and he was like, hey, my wife is getting her license. And Caesar was telling him, hey, I really don't have time to teach newbies. And like, I'm really busy and it takes a long time to explain people stuff. And I remember Jimmy told him, just try her. She's such a fast learner. You're not going to regret it. And he gave it a shot. And I started his these trainings that for new agents in the middle because he was already training somebody.
Oh.
So I missed some classes. And I remember one day he called me and he said, you know that you're the agent who asks the least questions out of everybody? Like, I don't regret getting you here because you don't really spend my time wasting my time. Yeah, with
not wasting.
It's not
but
wasting, exactly. That's how I didn't want to use it.
You don't take much of his time. And that has a broker owner, I feel like right now he appreciates that because everybody, I mean, I do call, but only if I'm like I want to have an opinion.
Exactly.
Like I would just want to know what he thinks and what he thinks that
But he still makes himself available.
Yeah.
And that's what I love.
But he's not as much available as he was anymore. Oh. Like before, I would call him and he was like, hello, like one ring. But now, like he calls
really
back.
Busy.
He's really busy. Yeah.
But what I like about him, and I think I assume it's because he knows our husbands, but I feel like he cares a little bit extra from our success.
Yeah.
Exactly like our success. Mm-hmm. No, of course he cares about everybody, I'm sure. But I feel like there is a little...
It feels a little more personal, like more, No, I see that too.
And I like that. And that's why, of course, there is, when you get tons of calls every day, hey, do you want to join our company or do you want to join our company? There is a little thought on maybe they offer something better, but then you're like, no.
No,
I'm good here.
It sounds risky.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that kind of risk I don't want to take.
But I just want to mention, if any buyers, sellers watching this podcast right now, guys, sometimes small company is much better than having an agent
I think, and it's about the agent. It's not that much about the brokerage. And, it's about the agent and the value that agent and his brokerage can provide. So I will say I advise people, like, do your research.
Yes.
Look for that realtor. Look for their reviews. Look for their, what people say about them.
Exactly.
So I think that's very important. So, yeah.
Well, I know, Daniela, you and me, we can talk for hours.
We can be here for hours.
Yes, we are good friends. And actually, that's what I want to talk about next time, if you're okay with that. I want to talk about friendship in business. I want to talk about competition and stuff like that. And how, in general, how to build a support system, how to build a friendship, how to build relationships.
Yeah.
So, and then I want to open door a little bit to what we're going to be doing in the future. If you want to jump on it and say a little bit, what's our plan in general for this podcast?
Yeah. Well, I think being here for those hardworking parents, just listen to somebody that having the same struggles, maybe inviting new people joining us and tell us how they succeed, what do they do or what works or what doesn't work.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of our main goal, and just have a friend conversation too.
And give people a half an hour of relaxed time to just listen us venting, basically.
Yeah, we're really good at that.
Yes. And also I wanted to tell it, we would love all feedback.
So any feedback
that anybody has.
who wants to be a guest, please reach out to us, because we're open to ideas. We're open to meeting new people. I think that's kind of one of our main goals: meeting people and just
if there is
having people knowing us.
Yes, and if there is subject that anybody wants to learn about or listen about, hey, just leave your comments and. We're going to jump on it, because we're open to have this as a very open friend podcast.
Yeah.
Where you can come and you're like, oh my God, I so much relate to this.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not the only one struggling in this world, right? Or this is a little extra step that I can make to be more successful, to have a happier life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's our main goal, and
Yes.
we're going to get there. It's going to be exciting.
yeah,
I hope you keep listening to us.
yes, please.
All right.
Well, thank
Well,
you so much, Daniela. I really
thank
had
you.
great
This
time
was
here.
fun. Okay,
Let's see
until
each other
next time.
Yeah, bye.